Danny Lynn here. I am actually here with Tracy right now. She's kind enough to come stop by our house to give me a quick interview. So I wanted to talk to you today about, when did you come on board? When did you get licensed?
The middle of July.
Middle of July. Okay, so middle of July, she just came on board with Home Options Made Easy, which is our real estate company. So she's now licensed, but she also wants to be an investor. And something very cool happened recently, and so I wanted to kind of ask her about it so she can tell you a little bit more. She wanted to find out how to market to different properties, to find mortgage assignment deals, short sale deals, any kind of investment property deals, subject to deals I think you were looking for as well. So we sat down and I showed her exactly what I've done in the past to get leads. And go ahead and tell the story of what we went over, how long it took for you to put it all together, how you went out and got it, and what you got as a result as far as leads.
Okay, so we met like on a Friday before the Labor Day holiday.
Oh, right. Okay.
And so I went home I met you here, and then we went over what basically a flyer should look like, what different lead generation techniques, how you can structure the flyer to get people to call, do a webinar, and you kind of gave me a couple templates, a couple postcards, and you showed me what one of your handwritten letters look like, and that an investor would send. And so I took all that stuff home, and it took me about 4 days to come up with my own letter. And then I decided I was going to have a logo because I wanted to be fancy. And I got some envelopes from you. So it took me about 5 days. And also you gave me the name of an investor that I actually called and met with at Starbucks for an hour that week. So part-time basis, it took me 5 days to meet with that investor, develop my flyer. And I also got a copy of the list of the foreclosures from you.
Right.
So I did a letter for the foreclosures as well. So I had come up with 2 letters and met with the investor within that first week. I hadn't distributed anything that first week because I was just fine-tuning, and then I actually emailed you a copy of the letter, tell me what you thought, and to get some feedback from you. And then that weekend, I started sending out the foreclosure letters.
Okay.
I got 1 or 2 calls, but they were already past, their house had already been auctioned off.
Right.
So I did a lot of those. So the next week, the next Thursday or Friday, I decided I was going to pass out flyers. So I found someone to help me pass out flyers, and we were going to do it that Saturday and that Sunday. And I picked a couple neighborhoods in Hutto. And on the Saturday, we passed out flyers for 2 hours.
Okay.
And on the Sunday, we passed out flyers for 2 hours as well.
Okay.
The first day we passed out flyers, I got a call before I even got back in my car in the AC.
Awesome. That's happened to me too. I love it. Okay, go ahead.
And I was like...
Awesome. I know that feeling.
So, and that was a very good lead. That was one of the leads that was almost a potential, but she decided to work with her lender to restructure her loan, and she's someone I'm actually going to follow up with. I got about 7 calls that weekend.
Wow.
No, actually, no, I got about 7 calls. The one lady called that Sunday after we passed out flyers, and on this Monday, I think I got like 6 calls while I was at work in my day job. And I was like, wow, I just wish I had time to answer all these calls. Some of them just left me a message telling me what they wanted. Actually, I answered all but one of the calls, and I spoke to them and got some information. One, I'm actually trying to help find a lease because their house was already sold as, just recently auctioned. So I'm actually working with him to do a lease and find him a rental property in Pflugerville. One property, they wanted someone to buy it outright. I had a language barrier with them. Okay. And a couple of the others didn't work out because they either had realtors already, but it was just a great way to generate leads and practice.
Absolutely.
Practice how to negotiate and how to steer them in the right way. So I was really overwhelmed that Monday. And then I think I got maybe 1 more call on the Tuesday, but I realized I have to keep doing this over and over.
Yes.
And it was overwhelming because I didn't expect to get all those calls. And maybe 7-8 calls, not a lot of calls to somebody who's doing this for a long time, but it was a lot. When I had, for a week before, I hadn't gotten
any calls
except for the 2.
Yep.
So it seemed like a lot to me, and it was a lot of information, and they were asking a lot of questions, and I'm like, help! So this week, I'm having someone hand out flyers for me right now.
Excellent.
And
Good.
I'm
Good for
ready
you.
and prepared. I'm like, let that phone ring,
Yes.
because now I'm ready. Last week I was totally unprepared and just shocked.
Yep. Awesome.
So yeah.
So there's a couple things that I want to bring up from the conversation that we just had with Tracy. First of all, there was a couple of her leads where the seller who had called her was listed. So what's important to know about that is that both Tracy and I are licensed, so legally we cannot talk to that seller. As soon as we know that they're listed, well, I mean, we always have to let them know and disclose to them that we're a licensed realtor, but as soon as we know, especially that they're listed with another realtor, we just have to shut off that conversation and maybe refer them to an investor. So I actually just introduced Tracy to an investor partner of ours that's hopefully going to help us out in those situations. But that's 2 leads, right? Was it 2?
Yeah.
That's 2 leads right there out of the 7 that she couldn't actually talk to and might turn into a deal. So that's important to know. One of the other things is that the one deal where the seller is actually working on a loan modification, I actually think that'll turn into a deal. I told her to let it bake and to keep in touch with her every 30 days. So I guess the point of me wanting to interview Tracy and to let you guys know what happens is the leads to get your phone to ring is not hard. You just have to take action, really. Find out a trainer or figure out exactly what you need to do, what type of marketing to do, where to target, and you just got to go do it. Your phone will ring. So I just wanted to kind of use Tracy as an example because she was completely overwhelmed and she called and said, "Can you take some of these leads?" So I thought that was hilarious, and she does this part-time right now. So it's a fantastic, experience, and I just wanted to share it with you. And anything else that you have to say, Tracy?
Well, so last week was overwhelming, but it kind of like settled in, like, okay, my phone will ring.
Yeah.
So this week I'm ready. I have flyers going out and I'm ready for the calls and I'm prepared and I'm ready to see what happens this time because now I'm ready for whatever happens.
Awesome. Way to go, girl. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Hope that was valuable information for you. Bye.